Bow basics, 1 through 10. Chari. Chumbi. All right, beginning with number 1, I'm going to start with my bow behind my back, with my hand a little off center. I'm going to hold it like this. What I'm going to do is transfer the bow in front of my body, switching hands. Okay, from front to back, across the hips. Here. Okay, so it's important on this one that when I'm switching, that I'm grabbing the bow across my hand. Okay, so in other words, I don't want my hands to be never crossing each other, because then I don't get my full rotation. So I want to always hold it past halfway. Some students, they find it helpful to put a piece of tape, colored tape, in the center of the bow to keep an eye on where the center is. For certain numbers it helps. This one it might be helpful. I want to hold it a little past halfway. That way when I can grab it with the other hand, I'm going to grab it past halfway on that side. And then I can just switch real nice and smooth, front to back. Okay? All right, number 2. I'm going to start just like I did with Chariot and Chumbi. I'm going to hold the staff behind my back, hiding it with my arm. Okay, so I want to have it in an even line with my arm all the way up to my shoulder behind my neck. Okay? At a little bit of an angle. I don't want it straight down. I'll hold a little bit of an angle, holding it here. Again, I want this to be a little past halfway. That way when I transfer, I'm staying even off from the staff. You'll see in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch hands by bringing the staff in front of my body, raising my hand palm up. I'm going to grab it the same way on the other side, even with the center, and I'm going to bring it down to this side. Okay, holding it the same way behind my arm, up through past my neck. Okay, so again I'm going to raise it up, grab, and switch. Nice and smooth, up to here and switching. Up and down, up and down. Okay, make sure that your palms are up together every time that you switch. All right, number 3, I'm gonna hold the bow staff like I did for Chumbi, positioned here. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch my hands back and forth, but I'm never gonna let the staff go, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let the staff open, but I'm gonna keep hold with my palms, okay? So I'm keeping contact the whole time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch by sliding my palms up and down the staff, respectively. One hand's going to go up and the other one's going to go down, and you're going to switch the staff over on itself. So I'm going to open and close here. Open and close here. Okay, so I'm not throwing it to each hand. I don't want to do that. I want to keep contact the whole time with my palms and just use my pushing energy to push the staff from one side to the other. And then I'm going to grab it. Okay, it's important to grab it when you're done each time. You don't want to just switch like this. Okay, when you do forms later on, you're going to be using these switches, and you want to be able to grab it right after. So switching and grabbing, top to bottom. Here. Okay. Number 4. I'm going to stand to the side so that you can see this number at a better angle. So number 4, what I'm doing is I'm going to hold the staff close to the bottom. Okay. I don't want to hold it at the very bottom. I want to have a little bit of room. Okay, so I'm going to hold it in front of me and I want to let it hang down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the staff away from me and I'm going to catch it with the other hand. Okay, so I'm throwing it up and I'm catching it in front of my body. Okay, with this hand I'm throwing it up and I'm catching it in front of my body. Okay, so what I'm not doing is I'm not picking it up and throwing it towards me this way. Okay, I'm taking my hand and I'm picking it up and out. Okay, away from me when I'm throwing. I don't want to come to me because that's not how I want to catch it. We're throwing it away from our body. What I want to do is have my hand positioned in the center of my body. I don't want it off to the side like this. I want to hold it in front of my body. That way when I throw it, it stays centered and my other hand can catch it centered. So I'm not reaching across my body to catch it. So whenever I'm throwing and catching, I want it to be centered. So throwing up and out, in front of my body, out and front. Okay, so I always want to use the other hand. I don't want to have to catch it with the same hand. I don't want to do that. I want to throw it one hand and catch with the other hand. That way this hand's ready to go. Okay, so some tips with this one. It takes a while to get the throw down. So you just have to get a good mix of an upward throw and an outward throw. Okay, if I just throw it up, what it's going to do is it's going to come back towards me, and I don't want that. Okay, so I have to make sure I'm throwing it out. If I also throw it straight out, it's going to go away from me, and I won't be able to catch it. So you have to experiment with it a little bit, throwing it up and out to where it comes right up to me. Okay, I also don't want to throw it to where I have to reach for it, okay? So I don't want to have to bend down and try to catch it. I want to throw it up enough to me, that way it's coming up into my hand and I don't have to move. Okay, so on this side, same thing. I want to throw it up and out in that direction. So here, forward. Here, forward. All right, number 5. Okay, I'm going to hold my staff with both hands facing down. Okay, we've been used to holding it one side facing one way and one hand facing the other way. We're going to hold both hands facing down. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move my staff in a circular motion, but we're going to start slow. I'm going to pick one hand, it doesn't matter, and I'm going to take that hand and bring it to my opposite arm, under the arm, to here. Okay? Then I'm going to take this point of the staff that's facing out, and I'm going to sweep it past my feet on the opposite side, here, behind my body. And then I'm going to bring it back to my original position here. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to use my right hand and put it under my left arm. I'm going to sweep down past my feet with the point of the staff here. Okay, so again, under the arm, down past the feet. Other hand, under the arm, down past the feet. Okay, once you have this motion down, then you can kind of start putting it together to make it fluid. So I'm going to start making my circles connect with each other. So I'm coming here and down, right past my feet. Okay, I want to try to make it a straight backwards motion. I don't want to come across my body when I'm doing this. Okay, I want to bring it across first and then straight down. That way my circle can come straight down and up. Okay, kind of using my hips to facilitate the turns. So here, and twist it. Okay, and once you have it smooth, you can put some speed into it, making sure that I'm going down past my feet on the side of my body, here and here. All right, number 6, I'm going to start with the staff in one hand, and this one I want to hold it centered, so this is where that piece of tape could start coming in handy. So I'm going to hold it near the center of the staff as close as I can get, and what I'm doing is I'm making circles on either side of my body, okay? So all I'm going to do is take this front part of the staff that's pointing out, and I'm going to sweep it past my feet similar to number 5, and I'm going to take that same spot and bring it to the other side of my body, okay? So this top part of the staff is what's going to be crossing my feet both times. So I'm crossing here to the back and here on the other side. Forward and across here. Okay? So I'm going to do the same thing on the other hand and just switch and cross and come back on this side. Here and here. Okay, I want to make sure when I'm doing this, similar to number 5, that I'm making my circles as close as I can to fully sideways, okay? So I don't want to bring my arm across when I'm doing this. Okay, some students, they kind of get sloppy and they start just making the circles look like this. That's not what I want. I want it going all the way across here and all the way back. Here and here. Okay, so take your time when learning this. Another thing I want to keep in mind is I don't want to grip the staff hard, because what's going to happen is when I'm going to this outside circle, my arm is restricting my path, so I'm going to have to really move my arm to try to get it in that straight line. So what I can do is have a loose grip. Okay, I'm not letting go of the staff, but I'm just opening my hand a little bit with my wrist. That way it can move with my wrist. Here, see this? When I let go, the staff can move without me having to turn my arm so much, and then it can come straight down past my body. Here and open. Okay? So the same thing on my other hand. When I'm doing this, I can open my hand on the outside to help move that circle a little more smoothly. That way I'm not fighting with my arm trying to get it there. Okay, so just in and out. That's it. As close to my body as I can get. All right, number 7. This plays off of number 6. So we're going to start with that same motion. We're going to bring the staff across our body, but instead of bringing it right back to this side, I'm going to stop over here, and I'm going to let the staff roll on my hand. Okay? So now it's only between my thumb and my index finger. So I'm going to let it open and roll here. Okay? There's going to come a point when it can't roll anymore, when it's going to hit the back of my hand. Okay, so that's when my other hand comes into play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across my body. Okay, then I'm going to take my other hand. I'm going to cross my hand. Okay, so come on the other side. And as this is rolling, I want my 2 hands to be in the same position. Okay? Hitting the back of the hand with the thumb behind the staff. Okay, so this is kind of complicated, but once you start feeling it out, you get the hang of it. So let me face you in this direction. So I'm going to face like this. All right, so when I'm doing this, I'm going to open the staff to here, and it's going to roll into my other hand. This is how I want to hold it. And at that point, that's when I want to transfer the staff into this hand, and I'm going to let it roll into this hand, and we'll get to that part in a second. So again, when I'm coming across, I'm going to let it roll to here, and at this point, you should pause and make sure you're catching it correctly before you move on. Okay, then I'm going to catch, and then I can bring it back. Okay, so again, across and roll into the other hand. Think like you're making a butterfly shape with your thumbs to here. Open and close. Same thing on the other side. So I'm going to here, I'm going to open it, and then I'm crossing my hand. I don't want to grab it on this same side. I want to cross my hands. Okay? Putting our thumbs next to each other, letting the staff hit the back of the hand, and then we're grabbing and transferring. Okay, so here, across, and transfer. Here again. Okay, so once we have that down, then we're going to put the number together. What we're doing is switching sides like number 6, but with each side I'm going to switch hands. Okay, so I'm coming inside and using that technique to roll it across my hand. Once I have it in this hand, I'm going to do my number 6, come across this part of my body, roll it here. Come across this part, roll it here. Here. Okay, so each hand is only making one part of the circle. So I'm switching, okay, making sure that I'm transferring at the right time. It's common for students to want to grab it early because they feel like the staff is going to fall out of their hand. Okay, it's supposed to feel like that. That's what your other hand is going to be there for, to catch it right at the end as it's falling off. Okay, it will take some practice, but you will get the hang of it. Okay, so number 8. This number is only done in one direction. So what I want you to do is I want you to mirror what I'm doing. In other words, what my left hand is doing, I want your right hand to do, and what my right hand is doing, I want your left hand to do. So when I'm explaining, I'm going to say this is your right side and this is your left side. So it's going to be in a mirrored direction. I'm going to be doing it backwards, but the way you see it on the screen is the correct way you want to do it. Okay, so I'm going to start with the staff in my right hand. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start with that same motion we just did on number 7. We're going to roll it to my other hand. Okay, so if you have number 7 good, then this part you already have down. Okay, so I'm doing this and I'm transferring it to my left hand. Once I have it here, I'm able to grab it when it rolls into my hand, and I want to continue that circle. Okay, I want it to go in that clockwise motion. So I'm going in this direction, and I'm going to let it go all the way until it's about to fall off of this part of my hand. Okay, so same thing that you just probably learned with this part of the circle. It's feel like it's about to fall off. You want to go through that again. But this time it's going to roll off the other side of my hand. It's going to be coming here. Okay, so I'm going to turn my hand as much as I can. You see how I can't move anymore. So this is how I know it's ready to be transferred. So what I'm going to do with my other hand, remember how we went across the hand? We do the same thing. I'm going to go across this part of my hand and grabbing the top of the staff. I'm going to grab it in this direction. Okay, one hand on top. Okay, so I'm going to grab it as it's falling off. With this hand, I can't turn it anymore. I'm going to bring it back to this hand. I'm going to do the same thing. Grabbing here, and then across until I can't go anymore. Okay, so it's going to be facing up, and it's about to fall off my hand in this way. So as it's doing that, I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to grab the top of the staff. Think like you're doing a knife hand motion, and grab it. Okay, here, okay, there's 2 parts. You should have these down before you start putting it together. Once you have it smooth, you have 1 and 2, back and forth, here to here. Okay, number 9. I'm going to hold the staff like I did for number 3, like I did at the beginning for Chumbi, with one hand on top and one hand on the bottom. Okay, what I'm doing is striking to the knee with the tip of the staff. So I'm going to hold it out, and I'm going to take one hand. We're going to do it the same thing on both hands. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to strike towards the knee, across the body, and I'm going to take the other hand and slap it to my ribs. Okay, so here, down to the knee. Okay, then I'm going to bring it out, switching like a number 3. Open, slide, and switch. Okay. Same thing on this hand. I'm going to bring my other hand to my ribs, and I'm going to bring the front hand down to the knee. Low strikes here. Bring it out in front, switch. Strike low and switch. Here, strike low and switch. Here, here. Okay? The harder you hit yourself in the ribs, the harder the force is going to come out on the other side. So if you're doing this right, you probably are going to have bruised ribs after you practice it a bunch. So here to here. Striking to the ribs. Sorry, to the knee. All right, number 10. All right, number 10 starts just like number 9. We're going to start with a knee strike with the tip of the staff. So I'm going to start here. Boom. Now with this part of the staff, I'm going to bring this up to my shoulder. Okay? Outside. What I'm going to do is take the back of my staff and I'm striking to the side of the head with it. So I'm here, this is low, I'm going to come middle here, across. So I'm moving this across, hitting myself on the outside of my shoulder. Here, okay? And now for the top, I'm going to take the staff from this position, I'm going to bring it down over itself, and then take my backhand and then strike down on top of the head. Okay? Now number 4, I'm going to bring the staff around, and I'm going to strike to the other side of the head. Okay? So again, we're going to take it out in front, switch like number 3. Now this side, I'm going to hit to the knee, low. Then I'm going to bring the tip of the staff across my body to the shoulder and hit with the back to the side of the head, middle. I'm going to come on top, bring the staff down and over itself, striking, and then I'll bring it around and strike to the side of the head. 4. Okay, there's 4 strikes. Again, so you switch. So low, middle, top, around, and high. Other side, switch. Low, middle, top, high. Okay? So on that high strike, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is I'm bringing the staff in a circular motion here. Okay? So I don't just want to pick it up and down. From here, I don't just want to pick it up and just move this arm, because there's no force behind this when I'm striking to the side of the head. So I have to bring it around here, and then I can strike with more force. Okay, so let me show you on the other side. So low, middle, top. Okay, so I'm not just bringing my backhand from side to side. Okay, I don't have any power on that strike. So here, I have to bring the staff around like this, striking to the side of the head. From here, striking. Okay, so I'm switching, low, middle, top, high. Switching, low, middle, top, high. The staff basics 1 through 10. So paro, put it on our left side here, and shield.